Hello and welcome to Slant News TV. Today, we bring you a significant development in the world of Australian demographics. Melbourne has overtaken Sydney as Australia's most populous city for the first time since the 19th century gold rush. Sydney has proudly held the title of the largest city in Australia for more than 100 years. However, with populations rapidly growing on Melbourne's fringe, the city limits have been expanded to include the area of Melton. According to the latest government figures from June 2021, Melbourne's population stands at 4,875,400, which is 18,700 more than Sydney. The Australian Bureau of Statistics defines a city's significant urban area by including all connecting suburbs with more than 10,000 people. With the amalgamation of Melton into Melbourne in the latest classification, Melbourne has more people than Sydney, and has had since 2018, said the ABS's Andrew Howe. However, proud Sydneysiders will point to the ABS's conclusion that when looking at the Greater Sydney and Melbourne regions, Sydney remained bigger in June 2021. Greater regions of a city take into account its functional area, the ABS says, and include populations who frequent or work within the city but may live in small towns and rural areas surrounding it. The federal government predicts Greater Melbourne will overtake Greater Sydney in 2031-32. Melbourne's rapid growth is largely thanks to international migration, as Australian National University demographer Liz Allen told the BBC. Unlike Sydney, which has a historical hangover of a time when it didn't want to be seen as anything other than white, Melbourne has a reputation for celebrating diversity. It is also an attractive migration destination as it has employment and education opportunities comparable to Sydney, but has historically been more affordable than the harbourside city. It's not the first time Melbourne has held the title of Australia's biggest city. As a result of the gold rush in the late 19th century, which saw migrants flock to the state of Victoria, Melbourne grew rapidly and outnumbered Sydney until 1905. This development is significant for Australia, as the two cities are economic powerhouses and cultural icons in their own right. The shift in population can have far-reaching consequences, from government funding to international recognition. While the boundary change may be seen as a technicality by some, the fact remains that Melbourne has surpassed Sydney in terms of population. This has been Slant News TV, bringing you an insightful analysis of the changing demographics of Australia's two largest cities. Stay tuned for more updates on the latest news and developments from around the world.